Early in the morning, a large herd of elephants leisurely walks through the wet grasslands inside the Makanda Reserve, a wildlife reserve in South Africa. Dewdrops still linger on the grass, sparkling in the morning sun. The leader elephant leads his herd to find water and food, heading towards the lake in the reserve. The peaceful scene continues every day as they leisurely move under the canopy of the trees. The mother elephant's deep cry rings out, seemingly signaling that everything is safe. The mischievous baby elephants walk and wiggle their trunks to find food and water. The whole herd of elephants seems to have a peaceful day without worries. However, from afar, the sound of a truck engine suddenly echoes through the bushes. A group of strangers appear, their eyes flashing with evil greed. They are the illegal ivory poachers who have been sneaking into the reserve. They carried modern weapons and equipment, ready to take down any elephant. The leader elephant sensed the threat and quickly raised an alarm. The whole herd was frightened and turned to flee deep into the forest. The poachers revved their engines and chased after them without mercy. The herd of elephants was driven into panic, staggering to avoid the cruel guns. The leader elephant still turned back and roared loudly, showing his intention to protect his fellow elephants. But the poachers fiercely followed, plotting to seize the valuable ivory. In the midst of the chaos, a young elephant was confused and separated from the herd, running haphazardly through the trails. The elephant swiped through the thick bushes, hoping to find the fastest way out. Unfortunately, he stumbled upon a section of barbed wire that had been set up beforehand. The barbed wire wrapped tightly around his front legs and trunk, causing the elephant to writhe in pain. The miserable cry echoed throughout a corner of the reserve. The elephants heard and stopped, but were approached by the poachers and could not return. The leader elephant was forced to lead the herd away to preserve the lives of the majority. Meanwhile, the young elephant was trapped with no way to free itself. The poachers were excited, thinking that they had firmly grasped the spoils of war in their hands. They approached and planned to use anesthetics and ivory cutting tools. The poor elephant's groans made the scene even more tragic. His strength gradually decreased due to injury and fear. The poachers were complacently calculating a way out when they finished stealing the ivory. But at that moment, the sound of another vehicle engine rang out from the direction of the reserve gate. It was the wildlife protection team led by Daniel. Daniel is a longtime expert on elephants. He always patrols every day to ensure security. At this time, he and his teammates discovered an intruder and immediately rushed over. The poachers were startled when they saw the large number of police officers. They panicked and hurriedly abandoned their belongings, trying to escape. Daniel's team quickly deployed their formation, blocking the escape route. The loudspeaker rang out, demanding the poachers to surrender immediately. Not giving up, they fired a few warning shots, then turned the car around and fled. Daniel signaled his teammates to chase after him, but the top priority was still to save the trapped elephant. In the midst of the chaos, the poachers finally retreated deep into the forest to avoid being caught. The security team breathed a sigh of relief when they saw that the immediate danger had been repelled. Everyone immediately focused on rescuing the poor elephant. Daniel approached the elephant with gentle steps to avoid scaring it further. He directed the other members to prepare tools, steel cutters, thick gloves, and a first aid kit. The young elephant was still struggling, the bleeding wound causing him pain. The security guards spread out around, keeping a safe distance. Daniel used a warm voice to calm the elephant as a way to establish friendly communication. They decided to shoot a light anesthetic to calm the elephant. When the elephant was temporarily unconscious, the rescue team began to remove each wire loop. The wire was deeply embedded in the skin, leaving many long scratches. Daniel and another member used pliers to slowly and carefully cut every centimeter. Sweat ran down their foreheads, but no one let go for a second. After a few tense minutes, the wire was finally removed. The field surgical team quickly cleaned the wound with antiseptic solution. They gently applied ointment, then temporarily bandaged it to stop the bleeding. Daniel observed the elephant's breathing, confirming that it was temporarily stable. His eyes showed both sadness and joy when he saw the initial success of the rescue. He believed that with care, the elephant would soon recover. The other staff also breathed a sigh of relief and continued to complete the first aid. After everything was handled, Daniel ordered the dangerous tools to be removed from the area. The elephant was still unconscious, occasionally moving slightly because of the burning pain in the wound. In the distance, the herd of elephants was hiding in the bushes, probably listening for movement. The big elephants had begun to move closer, making low, worried sounds. The mother elephant's cries echoed as if urging her children to return to the herd. Daniel signaled the whole team to step back so that the mother could approach her child. The baby elephant blinked slightly, gradually waking up from the anesthesia. Feeling the warmth of its fellow elephants, the elephant was less frightened. The mother elephant cautiously approached, gently touching her baby with her trunk, as if checking for safety. The young elephant reacted, stretching its body to rub its trunk against its mother, looking pitiful but hopeful. The security team watched from afar, all moved by the noble maternal love. To give the elephant space, Daniel allowed his team to retreat to the truck. The baby elephant was still in pain, but managed to stand up, holding on to its mother. The bleeding wounds were carefully bandaged, reducing the danger. The elephants gradually gathered together, supporting the weak elephant by wrapping their trunks around it. Daniel and his teammates stood at a distance, assessing whether to take the baby elephant to the veterinary rescue station. Considering that the wound was quite serious, but not life-threatening, they chose the combined option. If they tried to force the baby elephant to leave the herd, they could panic and hurt each other. Daniel and his team decided to monitor it for a few hours, making sure the elephant was okay. They contacted the mobile veterinary station, preparing tools if deep intervention was needed. The elephants were wary, but gradually realized that the human presence was there to help. The mother elephant's voice was now less tense. She only occasionally trumpeted to reassure the herd. The sky gradually turned to noon. The South African sun became more intense. The security team covered the elephant and monitored its body temperature. The elephant was injected with antibiotics to prevent infection of the wound. After a while, the elephant seemed more stable. The cuts no longer bled. Daniel discussed with the veterinarian and agreed to let the elephant stay with the herd, under supervision. The elephants happily surrounded the baby elephant, as if celebrating a victory over adversity. Their loud cries filled the entire reserve with happiness. Daniel's team quietly left, determined to continue protecting the beautiful land of South Africa and its precious herds of elephants. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to follow the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us.